What's up, guys? Welcome back to Your Lake Fork Guide. We've got a mess in here. Look at this. It's just a train wreck going on. It's been really busy trying to get all the YouTube stuff out while trying to have a guide business and having another job as well. And really excited. I hope you're excited because I think we're fixing to offer you something starting right now on this video that's never been offered to anybody before. What we're going to do is, for those of you that don't know, Lake Fork has, I would say, approximately 200 guides, close to it, that make a living guiding on the lake there at Lake Fork. And it's just a perfect storm where you've got a trophy bass fishery with a lot of big fish in it. And it's really close to a major city with DFW being an hour away. And it's also a difficult lake to fish at times as far as getting bites. It can be really tough lake to fish on average as far as just going out and catching some fish. So all that kind of adds up to a perfect storm where a lot of people want to hire guides, and it just creates this situation where you have a ton of guys that, in my opinion, you've got the best group of trophy bass fishermen in the entire world right there at Lake Fork. And that's because they have people pay them to go and do nothing but specifically target trophy class largemouth day in, day out. And the wealth of knowledge, in my personal opinion, is just unmatched compared to any other one location you can go to in the entire world as far as trophy bass fishing goes. So that being said, we're going to get some of these guys, and some of them, they may be the very best in the world at a certain technique. I mean, they're just, the knowledge that I'm telling you guys, it's unbelievable. And we got some of the guys that are some of the best in the world at what they do. They've got specialized techniques that they really excel at, that they're really experts at. We're going to bring them on here starting today and let them break down different techniques for you to help you become a better fisherman. And we're going to do it like we always do on this channel. We're going in depth. It's not going to be your standard run-of-the-mill instructional video. We're going to get all the details. We're going to get everything out of it. So, I'm going to set up like all the how-tos that I've done already, all the instructional stuff I've done already. I'm going to put that on the back end of this channel and start putting the new videos up in front of it. But it'll just make one nice segment for you guys to have all the instructional stuff together. And every once in a while, I'll do a video that'll go into this segment that we're doing. And there'll be several other guys. Andrew Grills will be on here a bunch. Jason Hoffman's going to be on here. I think we're trying to get something worked out with Eric Wright and Greg West and Jay Kendrick. We're going to have a lot of guys come on here. And like I said, they're just experts at what they do. They're going to share their knowledge with you. It's going to be your one-stop shop for bass fishing knowledge right here on the Your Lake Fork Guide channel. And we're going to call this segment the Guides Network. And that's what it is. It's going to be a network of a bunch of guides coming together to make great content just for you guys. And so for today's video, the first one we've got going, I know some of you guys have been following the channel. A lot of y'all just got more views than anything that I've posted so far, I think. So a lot of y'all saw the video with the big swim baits with Andrew Grills on Lake Monticello back on Thanksgiving. We took the time to go ahead and break down and do a full in-depth detailed how-to that afternoon when we were done fishing for big weedless swim baits. So today's episode, very first episode on the Guide Network, is going to be Andrew Grills breaking it down, full detail, how to throw a big weedless swim bait. And you guys know he can do it. If y'all saw that video, y'all know he knows what he's doing.
Hey guys, Andrew Grills, Lake Fork Guide here. Today I'm going to talk to you about one of the funnest techniques for big bass you can use. It's the big weedless swim bait.
Oh yeah, a big one. Get in there, baby. There you go.
Another one on the Convict Smash Tech. Fishing the edge of the vegetation. The fish just came out and grabbed it. About took the rod out of my hand.
See you, sweetheart.
How about that? That's a good one. Come on. He's not that big, but he's heavy.
He's got some weight to him. Oh, he's a little bit longer than he looked. That's a beautiful fish. Beautiful fish.
Convict.
Smash tag, baby. You know, if you guys are liking this content, if y'all are enjoying this content, I want y'all to do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up for me. Let me know that you like it. And also, go ahead and subscribe to it so you don't miss any of our videos as they come out. We're going to be putting them out pretty fast. We're going to try to do at least 2 a week on the Your Lake Fork Guide channel. And then the Guides Network will probably be about 1 every other week, somewhere in that range. It just depends on how things work out schedule-wise with the other guides. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos when they pop up. And also, if you guys like it, you think it's a good thing, you want it to continue to grow, and you want us to do more of them, then go ahead and tell all your friends. Share this video with them. Get them to subscribe to the channel. Let them know what's going on here. Let them know we're trying to bring you guys a one-of-a-kind information source for bass fishing. And, man, let's make this thing huge. I think it can be an awesome deal for everybody involved, y'all included. So let me know what you think. Give me a comment. Send me a message. You guys know my phone number is out there on all my videos. Let me know what's going on. And we appreciate y'all watching. Remember, thumbs up, subscribe. Do them both. Do them now. Quit waiting. Do it right now. Hit the button. We'll see y'all after a while.
The one that I use the most is the Smash Tech Convict. I've been using it for a couple years now. A good friend of ours makes it here close to Lake Fork. Heath Taylor, he's a great guy to know. I'm proud to call him a friend. And he makes some really good baits that work really well on Lake Fork and other lakes in East Texas. The Smash Tech, the unique thing about it is it has a hook slot. You know, if this bait didn't have a hook slot, that would be a lot of plastic to clear, even for the biggest weedless hook that we've got. So the hook slot's very important to me. There's 3 things you're going to need when you're fishing a weedless swim bait, of this size anyway. First of all, on or beast hook, 10-aught. I use the weightless version the most. I will use the 1/2 ounce weighted model sometimes if I'm trying to fish faster, cover more water. It works great even in shallow water and heavy cover, but a lot of the time this 10-aught weightless beast hook. One thing I'll do to this hook is to make it keel right, to make the bait keel right and run true in the water, is add storm suspend strips. This is the second thing you're going to need if you fish these baits. All you need to add is 2 or 3 to the hook shank. The bait that we were using today, I've got 3 on this one. That doesn't affect the fall rate of the bait at all, really. I mean, this is a big buoyant piece of plastic, so it falls really, really slow. A few suspend strips will get it to run straight in the water. You can get a weightless one without any suspend strips to run true, but you have got to be dead on when you screw that bait onto the to the screw lock, when you screw the nose in, and then when you line your hook up, it's got to be straight. And if I look out there and that thing's running off to the side just a little bit, I'm going to take that hook point back out and then readjust it. I always leave my hook point back in the bait, and this isn't necessarily a weedless thing because it doesn't get hung up when the hook's out. But when you get it positioned right, this bait's going to run straight in the water. It's going to run true. Another thing you're going to need is mended. These baits, you know, they're not real cheap, and we were real fortunate today to catch a lot of fish on one bait. I think I caught 4 on one bait, and I mean, we're talking 4 to 7 pound fish, but they will eventually wear out. And this is usually the first place to go right here. So when I get one that's worn out, I want to set it down, let it dry off a little bit, and I'm going to put a little bit of mended on it. It'll dry within a minute or 2, but I like to leave it setting out for a few minutes. That way it firms up and really closes that plastic back together. Now what this stuff will actually do, it will actually melt that plastic back together. So I just use a little bit, just like 1 drop on the end, and then kind of squeeze it together, let it firm up, and within a few minutes that bait's going to be as good as new or tougher in that area where it ripped before. If you see the heads tearing a little bit, a little dab around that screw lock, because when that comes out, the bait's done. Okay, now when it comes to equipment, first of all, the rod. That's very important. You've got to have a stout rod so you can drive that hook home, because that's a lot of plastic. Fish gets it. When they get it, you hook them well, but you've got to have a good stiff rod. I like a 7.5 to 8 foot swim bait rod because I'm making long casts with it, and a lot of times you're in shallow water, heavy cover, those bites will come out on the end of a long cast away from the boat, so you've not spooked them, and you're going to have to take up a lot of slack. So a long rod's going to really help you with that. You want a fast to extra fast tip on these rods because you're going to have to drive that big hook home. For the reel, I like a high speed reel when I'm doing the weedless swim bait. Line through, treble hook, bottom hook, deals, I do use a slower retrieve. That's a different deal than what we're doing today. I want a high speed reel when I'm fishing in this heavy cover, because when I get that bite, I can adjust the speed of the retrieve with my reel handle. I can slow down because I do fish it slow. But when I do get that bite, I want to be able to crank up a lot of slack. I want to be able to get that fish's head turned towards me. You don't want that fish taking control. You want to take control of it, get him coming straight towards the boat, and try to horse him back as quick as you can. Line, 65-pound braid today was the deal. It's what we had to have. I'm not a braid guy. I would rather fish it on fluorocarbon. Last spring on Lake Fork, we caught so many fish on that Smash Tech swim bait, and I was using fluorocarbon all the time, 20-pound Seagar and Vizex. And we were fishing willow bushes and things like that were flooded. It was more sparse cover. Today, fishing hyacinth, lily pads, things like that, you have got to have braided line. Braided line will cost you some bites. It didn't hurt us today. I was using 65. That's a heavy braid, and didn't hurt a thing. When the fish were biting, they bit it just fine. With colors, I like to keep it pretty simple. I love white. When I'm fishing stained water, cloudy day, things like that, solid white is hard to beat. It's a really good color. And then, IU, light hitch is probably my favorite color, and then a dark hitch. I don't have one out on the boat right now, but a dark hitch very similar to this IU. Now I'm going to get up and show you how I retrieve this bait. I've got one basic retrieve that I always use fishing the big weedless swim bait. I'm going to cast it out there. A lot of times longer casts will help you when you're fishing shallow water. The key is really important, is to always keep that rod tip pointed directly at your bait. I keep my rod kind of level to low. I'm pointed directly at it, and what will happen is when that Smash Tech comes up against a lily pad or some kind of cover, if you point straight at it, he's just going to bulldoze his way through there, and he's not going to get hung up as bad. If your rod's over to the side, you're going to have a little bit more slack and he's going to get stuck worse. And when you've got your rod tip pointed straight at your bait, when you get a bite, you can immediately set the hook instead of having to reel up slack and get to it. Because when you're fishing a big weedless swim bait, you're fishing heavy cover, and you got to get their heads up and out of it as quick as possible. One really important thing about retrieving this big swim bait is you're going to miss some fish. They don't have hands. When they see that thing, if they're not super active, a lot of times they'll come up and nudge it, hit it from the side, bump it. They won't have it. They do that. It's not because of the weedless nature of the bait. It's because they do that with Huddlestones. They do that with ospreys, line throughs with the bottom hook. You miss fish. Once you fish it a little while and you get used to getting bites on it, you're going to learn what it feels like when a fish has it and when a fish doesn't. It's really important, because when a fish misses it, if you set the hook, he's not coming back, even if he doesn't feel it. But if he misses it and you just keep reeling steady, you'll feel that bump, keep reeling, bump, keep reeling. And then finally they'll just crush it, and there's no doubt in your mind. Like you'll see earlier today, I had one almost take the rod out of my hands when he finally committed. That's an important thing that I see that you really don't hear much about, is just keep that thing coming. All right, guys, that covers it on fishing a big weedless swim bait. It's very simple. Sometimes you don't get many bites, so you got to kind of commit to it. If you're all about catching big fish, I would rather go out and catch one giant than a bunch of little ones, and that's what this is all about. I want to thank Heath Taylor at Smash Tech Swim Baits for making such a cool bait. Caught so many big fish on it. I love it.
Got it. You got a big one? Oh, look at that. There you go. Woo, look at that, buddy. Oh! Look at that thing. That is a beautiful fish. That's awesome.
Thank you, Smash Tech. Thank you, Smash Tech.
I think we got a real big one on here, boys. Hold it, don't force it too hard. There we go, son. Excellent.
Kept throwing the smash tech, Billy.
That's why you throw that swim bait, son.
About to have a hard time. The smash tech convict.
There it is.
All right.
There it goes.
Alright guys, that covers it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Hope it's something you can use back home. Don't be intimidated by these big baits. I caught a lot of fish in Kentucky. That's where I grew up before I moved to Lake Fork. Caught a lot of big bass in Kentucky on big swim baits just like this one and the Huddleston, the 8-inch. So they'll bite it and you'll see, you know, it doesn't take a giant. And it's a lot of fun. Appreciate you watching the Lake Fork Guides Network. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more like it, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.